Okay, so now that we have a canvas for us to work on in Canva, let's talk about objects. And now when I say objects, I mean different things that you can put on your canvas. So this includes things like graphics, photos, text, backgrounds, etc. So here's our work area, and on the left side we have what I call a sidebar, and this sidebar contains tabs. So just like a binder, you can click on a tab and it'll show you what's underneath it. And so we have things like templates, uploads, photos, elements, text, videos, background, etc. And we're going to talk about most of these things. So let's just start with the one that's open right away, templates. So templates is just like what the title says, they're templates. So it's already pre-made, but you can modify them. And so since I'm working in a canvas of a poster, these are going to be templates for posters. So there's ones like for events, quotes, motivational. And so to apply the template, all you have to do is click on it. So if I like this one, I can click on it, it's applied to my canvas. And these templates can consist of different things, which are objects. So in this case, there's text, there's a background photo, and then behind this background photo, there's also an actual background color. And yeah, so templates are really great starting points. For this project, we really want you to be creative and to make your art piece reflect your prompt response. And so a template could be a good starting point, especially if you're really intimidated and you don't know where to start. But I would really encourage you to play around with the template because you can edit it, you can add stuff to it, remove stuff from it. So yeah, I'm just going to clear off this so we can focus on the next thing, which is photos. Now, I am going to be talking about uploads, but let's go to photos first. So under photos, you can find photos basically, but it consists of different sections. So up here we have categories. So there's ones like summer, food. You can see there's a Father's Day one since I'm recording this the day after Father's Day. And if you click on these, you'll find photos related to that category. So here we have a lot of photos that represent summer. I can also go back, and there's a section called recently used. And so when you use Canva, any photos that you've used recently will be here so that you can return to those and use them again if you want to. And then right below this, we have trending, which are photos that are popular at the moment. So a lot of users are using these photos within their designs. But besides this, you can also search for a photo. So if I want a photo of a tree, I can look it up. You can also see that's in my recent searches. It does save some of those recent searches, so you can go back to them. But if I want a tree, I can also just type it in, click enter on my keyboard, and now there's a lot of photos of trees, and I can pick them. So I want to pause really quick and talk about free versus paid options on Canva. So this is something that applies to photos, but it also applies to graphics. It applies to most things on Canva. So Canva itself is free, but there is a version of it called Pro in which you get access to more photos and whatnot. And so the way you can tell whether it's free or not is if I put my mouse over some of these, you'll just see it says free, and then others of these photos will have a crown, and if I hover over them, so if I put my mouse over them, it says Pro. And that means that they do cost money to use. And this applies with photos, and it applies with other things like elements, which we will talk about. So a lot of these are free, but there will be some that aren't. So going back to photos, again, if I want to add it to my canvas, I just want to press on it and it'll be added to my canvas. Now you aren't limited to the photos that Canva has because you can also upload your own. So the way to do that is to go to uploads. And there are multiple ways to get photos on your computer, but the one that's easiest is just to go to Google and then you just search for what you want a photo of. So if I want a photo of a bulldog, I can search bulldog. And then just to see the photos, what you're going to want to do is click the images category here at the top. And now we're just going to see a bunch of photos of what I searched, in this case, bulldogs. So then once I find a photo I like, what I can do is click on it, then you're going to right click on it, and you're going to want to look for save image as. So not save link as, but save image as. And once you click on that, your computer's file explorer will come up. So mine might look a little bit different than yours depending on what computer you're using. I'm using an Apple computer, so if you're using a Windows computer, it's going to look different. But you just want to pick where you want to save it. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop, and you can rename the photo if you want. So let's just say I want to rename it to Bulldog. I can do that, and then click Save. So all this process has done is saved it to your computer, but now we want to upload it to Canva. So I'm going to go back to our canvas, and I'm going to click on this blue button that says upload an image or video. And once I click that, that file explorer is going to open up again, and there is the photo I saved to my computer. So I can click on it, press choose, wait a little bit, and once this bar is full, it's uploaded, and now I can click on it and put it on my canvas. And now anything you upload will also be available on any canvas you're using. So if I later on go to make a different design, this image will still be there so that I can use this photo on my other design as well. So that's really cool. So yes, that's photos. I'm going to clear my canvas now, and we're going to go on to elements. Elements, just like the name says, is very broad. So mostly elements consist of graphics, but you can also find things like shapes on here, frames for photos that you can put a custom frame around. There's charts, lines, there's a lot of different things underneath here. But just like with photos, you can see like this one has a crown, it's a paid one. This one says free, it's free. And so just like with photos too, if I want to put it on my canvas, I can just click on it, and there it is. And I can also do shapes or lines. There's a lot of different options under here that you can explore. And just like with photos, you can also search up here. So if I wanted a triangle, I could search triangle, and now there's a bunch of different triangles I can choose from. And again, if I like it, I can just add it on my canvas. Alright, so yeah, there's a lot of different things under elements that you can spend some time exploring. Let me just clear this out so we can focus on the next object, which is text. So Canva has kind of two different options to start off with text. So the first one I'm actually going to show you is the bottom part, and these are text combinations. So it's basically groups of two different kind of font styles that look good together. So it's really easy because you don't have to think about what style do I want to apply. You can just pick one of these that you like, click on it, add it to your canvas, and now anything I write here will be this style, and anything I write up here will be that style. So this is again great if you feel intimidated, if you don't want to think too much about what kind of fonts look good together, it's a great option. But you can also start with a kind of plain text that you can then customize later. So they have heading, subheading, and body of text. So you can actually just change the size of text later. You don't have to worry about if I pick this small text, then I won't be able to make it larger later, because that's not true. It's just a great way to kind of organize your text right away, knowing that you want some text to be bigger than other. So for example, I can just pick heading, knowing I want a heading up here, and then pick smaller text, knowing I want smaller text here, but then later change the sizes and the colors and all that, which we will get to in a later video. But yeah, basically clicking on it adds it to your canvas. I will talk about how to move stuff and whatnot, but it's pretty simple as far as adding text onto the canvas right away. So that's text. Again, I'm just going to delete these so we can focus on the next object, which is background. So background will change the whole canvas color or design or whatever. So if you go to background, at the very top there's these squares of color. So if I click one of these, I can just have my whole canvas be yellow, green, whatever. So this is very simple. You can just pick on one of these colors. You can also click on this little color palette to have even more options. So I can click on here and go even more crazy and have a specific red that I want. There's a lot of different options. But down here, there's also already these images or patterns, designs, whatever you want to call them, that you can add to your full canvas. So again, Same concept, click on it, now I have this rainbow design on my whole canvas. Again, just like with photos and graphics, some of these are free and some of them are not. So the way you can know again is if I put my mouse on top of these, you'll see that a lot of them say free, but sometimes you might encounter ones that don't say anything. So instead of having a crown, this one doesn't say anything, so I know this is not a free option. Because if I click on it and apply it to my canvas, you'll see there's just this watermark of Canva on it and this checkered pattern. Basically, that won't go away. It'll be like that. It doesn't look the best. So it's kind of just better to use a free option instead. So again, you can always change it. It's really simple because it just takes up the whole um, dimension of the canvas that you have. So yeah, those are all of the objects we're going to be talking about. We will go more in depth on them in the next videos about how to move them, how to resize them, rotate them, change colors, all that fun stuff. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the options so that you are aware of them.